Hello again. We've been away for a while, a bit too long, but we're back now.
We are back.
And we're here to talk to you about heritage. Today we're doing episode 2 of Which League Should I Follow?
That's right. The first episode was on competitiveness.
That's right. England won that one. Spoiler alert.
They did.
You're supposed to say spoiler first, aren't you? Yeah, but, well, bad luck. So league heritage, what is it?
It's the calibre of the league's teams domestically and in Europe. That's the key.
Yeah, so domestic titles, European titles, and European Cup titles, you know, the big European Cup.
That's what really drives the heritage of a league.
Yeah, not the...
They're winning in Europe.
Yeah, the top tier of Europe, and the top tier domestically. We ain't doing no Division 2 trophies here, no. Newcastle, no.
Who cares?
No.
It counts, but not really. Not for this.
No.
Not for this.
So looking at teams' individual caliber, it kind of links into the last episode that we did with how competitive a team, or rather competitive a league is, and that's going to be down to how much a team dominates a league and stuff like that.
It does, because you can win so many titles, but if the drop off from you to someone else is so much, then it's just like it's not really a competitive league, is it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with our list. The top of our list, funnily enough, 2 teams from Scotland who just decimate their league. Rangers and Celtic.
Yeah, Rangers have won 54, Celtic are on 49.
So,
and I think like the next best is 10 or something like that.
Yeah,
so
it's like there are no other teams basically in the league. Moving down our list, another team from a league we didn't mention before, Portugal, Benfica.
Benfica with 36.
36 league titles, really dominating that league. Yeah, second in that league is Porto, so there's got a bit of a duopoly there.
It's similar to Scotland, really. That league.
Yeah, and a bit like the Spanish league as well. You got the 2 dominant teams, one's just a little bit behind the other. Next, you got Juventus with their 34 league titles. Yep. It's a bit of a drop off to the next 2 teams, but they're both quite even, 18 titles apiece. Both the Milan clubs.
Both the Milans.
Yeah, Inter and AC. Sunny Spain.
Sunny Spain. Real Madrid, 33. Barca with 25. It's pretty
small drop. Well, the next team is Atletico with 10.
Yeah,
so it's a steep drop there.
It's the same sort of thing, really.
Dutch has a bit of a smoother gradient. It's sort of like stepped. Ajax with their 33, just like, and PSV with their 24.
24 PSV.
And then 15 for Feyenoord, which are the next in that list.
Yeah, it is like a stairs.
So there's steps, and then it sort of evens out after that. And then of course you got Bayern Munich. The dominant of the German league.
Yeah, they're the only 2.
Yeah.
I mean, they've won 27.
Yeah.
But 28 if you count the one in the 1930s, which was like a southern German title.
Yeah, it's when it was split into 2 divisions, so it's only one title anyway.
But they still won, so we'll say 28.
Yeah, and then the next best you've got
Nuremberg, which is on
9. Yeah.
So that's just a complete dominance.
And of the teams that are still relevant in today's Bundesliga, 8 for Dortmund. So big gap there. It's very even after that, but big gap from the top to the rest. And then we just got our random teams here with a lot of domestic titles. Red Star Belgrade,
Stoja Bucharest from Romania,
and Red Stars from Serbia. Just so you know where that's from. So all these teams that we just listed have more titles than any English team. So the English teams, so that's 12 teams if you haven't been counting. You get to 13, you get to Manchester United with their 20 titles, Liverpool with 18, Arsenal 13, and then it's sort of just like a steady decline. So that's probably the smoothest gradient, which is why they won our competitiveness from the other week. One of the reasons. But domestic titles is not everything, obviously. Of all the clubs that we mentioned just now, only 4 of them are probably relevant. I'm not including those English clubs, but 4 of them are relevant in Europe, that being Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and that Italian one. Juventus. You got the Juventus top? Yeah, you got the Juventus top.
I do. I don't know why.
I got the Liverpool top too. It's good. So what we're really after is the European caliber. Because this is what gets people wanting to come to the club.
That's right. That's why players want to go to your club.
Yeah, especially foreigners. I mean,
especially foreigners.
Yeah.
Foreigners want to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
or the European Cup as it was back in the day.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they want to come to your club.
Because you can probably get the domestic players into the league for your domestic titles and stuff like that. So
domestically, yes,
Yeah.
because you'd imagine that if you're homegrown in that country, you look to those clubs.
Exactly. You
But
know
the foreigners are looking at, right, how do I win the continent?
the Champions League,
not just
exactly
domestically.
Domestic titles is like cool, that's great, but Champions League, that's why you've got this massive craze for Barcelona and Real Madrid. Although Barcelona, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So there's only 22 different clubs that have won in Europe's elite competition, and we thought we'd go through 12 or 13 of the miscellaneous ones that have won just a handful or just the one title. There's been a few of those.
They deserve a mention.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not an easy thing to win.
First there's Ajax.
Yeah, Ajax.
They've got 4 titles, which doesn't sound like little, but 3 of those titles were in different time.
Well, there were 3 of them came in the 70s during their golden era, and the other one was in 95.
Yeah,
So
golden era being the total football, Johan Cruyff. There's a way to pronounce it.
I don't disrespect him.
Yeah. Sort of revolutionised the game. But that's a time that's been and gone. And since then, the Dutch league has struggled for relevance in Europe.
Then we've got the Portuguese league.
Yeah.
With Porto and Benfica both on 2.
Yeah.
Benfica won theirs very early on.
Yeah.
I think pretty much when the European Cup started.
And in consecutive seasons as well. Yeah, I think it was the 50s or could have been before that, maybe.
We forgot because, whatever. And Porto have won 2 as well. One more recent.
Yeah.
And the other one spread. It's been a spread.
Yeah, it's been sort of
there's
like...
no golden period for them.
So Portugal is also sort of... They're strong. They'll sometimes, you sort of bank them to get out of the group stages, but that's about it nowadays.
Look, they could make the quarterfinals against, in some seasons, but you wouldn't really pick them going past that.
To be a contender, they need a brilliant manager, as they did in 2004.
Mourinho did. Yeah. That's what kick-started his career. But.
And then other than that, they're not really in the conversation. Honourable mentions go to, as mentioned before, Steaua Bucharest from Romania, Red Star Belgrade from Serbia, Feyenoord from the Dutch League, PSV also from the Dutch League.
Marseille.
Each of these teams with one title, by the way.
Yeah, and then we've got Marseille from France.
The only team from France.
The only team to win.
So this is why France is a bit of a sort of a side plot to the Champions League, because nobody's interested in France unless PSG can finally win something. No heritage in the French league, basically.
This is the thing: if PSG fall on hard times, no one's going to care.
Exactly, they're going to.
All the fans will care, but the players no. Whereas if you're looking at other clubs, like Liverpool, for example, so in their minds they think, well, it's Liverpool, I'll play for them.
So in short, the French league is not where fans go to for European sort of glory, you could say.
No, that's right.
Not even close.
No disrespect, but
yeah.
That's it. Other mentions go to Celtic from Scotland, they've won one, and Dortmund and Hamburg have won from Germany.
Yes.
And they were both against Juventus. Anyway, and
you just said they're both from Juventus.
They're both against. They're both against Juventus. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Of the teams we've mentioned so far, Hamburg are the only ones that are no longer playing in the first division or have been at all relegated since winning the European title. So that's a sort of a unique thing for them in the German League. But they weren't the only ones, of course, that had been knocked out of the first division.
Aston Villa. Yeah. Aston Villa's the other one from England.
Yeah, they've won a European title. More titles than Arsenal. That's right.
And Arsenal and Manchester City. And Nottingham Forest. Now, this is a special one.
Oh, this is a special, very
special story with Nottingham Forest. If you look at their trophy cabinet, they've got 1 domestic league title and 2 Champions League.
The only team across any... Well, that is any European title.
That's their legacy. They've got more European titles than a domestic title.
Than first division domestic title.
I mean, look, they're in the second division now. But if you're a Nottingham fan, you can legitimately gloat about your history. That's saying something.
Well, that's what
you're welcome at the table. Like, you've got as many titles as Juventus, with 2 as well. You got just as many. You're just as many as Juventus. You're welcome at the table. I'm sorry.
The English league is the only league that has 2 teams and 3 3 of their trophies come from teams that no longer play in the first division. Now that was
is
unique to the English league until Hamburg got relegated last season.
Hamburg joined them, but
Hamburg thought, why not join the party? But
they should be back this season.
They should be back.
Next season, I should say. Yeah.
But Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa still have a long way to go.
Yeah, they're just entrenched in the Championship now.
But just a little more on Nottingham Forest. The way it went down was they won their only league title ever. Then the next season they qualified for the Champions League, which at the time was only the domestic champions of the 32 leagues.
Only
the top 32. Yes, only the champions go through.
It,
and the runners up from previous season, which is how they made it to their second season, because they came second the season that they won the Champions League, or the European Cup.
The European Cup it was back then. If you win the European Cup, you get to qualify again.
So they got qualified in with Liverpool the next season, who got knocked out in the first round, and Nottingham went up to win the final again, 1-0, and it's just unprecedented.
That's their legacy. That is their legacy.
And then after that, they got knocked out in the first round the next season, but it was...
That was it. They were done.
That was it, and that is their legacy. So in the last episode, we talked about the teams in each league that was sort of, their strong teams, who you might want to go for the competitiveness factor. But not all those teams are relevant in Europe. So of all the teams that have 2 or more European titles and are also relevant in Europe, we go through the big 4 leagues, really. It's 4 because there's no big 5 here.
And we'll kick things off in sunny Spain.
Yeah, sunny Spain. They are number 1 by a long shot. 18 titles from Spain.
13
going to Real Madrid. So
Real Madrid boast 13 of those. Barcelona with 5. Is there anything else to say?
Yeah. This is sort of like the European trophy factory of the leagues. They just churn them out, but it is a complete duopoly.
Yeah, only 2 clubs to win.
Yeah,
only them 2.
Only those 2 clubs have won of the Spanish league. Atletico has come run up 3 times.
3 times, yeah. Come
up short. The only team to have done that, made 3 finals and not won any. So it's really sort of you got great.
Look, there's a lot of heritage.
Yeah, a lot of European trophy making ability.
Yeah, but there's only 2 clubs.
It's just 2 clubs to look at, so you can get a bit boring after a while.
Speaking of boring, you go to Germany.
Yeah.
There's only 1 club.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich.
And they got 5 as well, so they're actually...
Yeah, they've got 5. So
quite good as well.
They've lost 5. They've made 10 finals. So
so they're Yeah, and it doesn't always work out for them, but they have their thing. They're not the only club in Germany though that has won the title, as we said before, Dortmund and Hamburg, but they're the only one that you can really sort of look at and genuinely say, all right, I mean, these guys are in it, Dortmund has recently been
strong. As strong, but you wouldn't, especially now, you wouldn't put them down as a contender.
Yeah, you expect Dortmund to go deep, but Bayern's probably the only one you can consistently look to and say...
Yeah, if you're a player, you can say, I could win the Champions League here.
Yeah,
it's a legit...
And that's what the Dortmund players did. So
they did,
so that tells you a bit about where Dortmund stands in the hierarchy in Germany. Yeah. This is exactly what we're talking about. The European caliber, something goes into people's minds that even though Dortmund was at the same level as Bayern,
they were
performing
at that time. Yeah,
they ship off to Bayern, and this is where you got to look out for, because you can have a team that's like or a league or whatever that has strong teams at the moment, but in the end they're going to go away. They're going to go. Yeah. They're all going to levitate towards the team that sort of dominates the league.
That's right.
As happens here with Dortmund and Bayern. Now England is another team.
They are a team. International.
Now England is another club. I was going to say.
I can't even get out of that one.
Can't get out of that one. No. England is another league where they have a 5-time winner in Liverpool. They've got Manchester United that's won 3. That's 8 of their titles. They've got 12 all up. So it's more than Germany, who only has, I think, 8 overall. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
8 no, they've only got 7.
7, yeah.
7 overall. 7 overall.
Sorry.
England has a high caliber of return. You know, they've got, like I said, 12 titles.
Yeah.
However, 3 of those titles, as mentioned before, are teams that are no longer with us. They're in the second division. They've done well to be in the second division. They're with us. They're with us. Well, for the sake of European caliber, it's a world that is on a different plane.
They're on a different.
They're underground. Yeah, they're underground.
Planet or something like that,
They need catch up. So, they've basically got 9 titles of the teams that are in there, and even though they've got the big top 6, you know, the so infamous top 6.
Look, that's the thing. Like the top 6, you look at them and go, "Well, Chelsea's won one."
Yeah.
As well, Chelsea have won European title, but
the rest haven't won any.
The rest haven't won any. Man City, you could look at it and say, "Well, they could win one soon."
Yeah, like PSG.
Like PSG as well. Same. They're in the same boat essentially.
But once again, the owners get sick of it. No one cares.
That's it.
And Arsenal, with all the you know, they got the third in the list of titles. We've got 13 titles domestically. Nothing in Europe.
Nothing in Europe.
They've made at least one final recently. But other than that, like I said, not a club that players from abroad say, "Hey, let's go here." They could win the Champions League.
That's right.
It's just
It's not. Yeah.
For a while, they were consistently in the Champions League, and that was sort of like a bit of a pull. But they were never really sort of.
Well, they never got out of the second round.
Yeah, it was just at some stage
it became a joke.
Yeah. Except it wasn't a joke. It was true. It was just.
It was true, but yeah.
It was funny because it was true. It was horrible. But now they're not even in the Champions League. So, that's another thing to contest with. And finally, we come to Italy.
Yes, Italy.
And this is probably, in our view anyway, their strong point. They have 3 teams that have won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Only those 3 teams, no one else, but 3 teams nonetheless. And each one has genuine relevance in the Champions League.
They're 3 teams where players look and think, I want to play for this club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if they're struggling or they're not in the Champions League. Players will still look at these 3 clubs and go, I'll play here. And those 3, Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan.
Yeah, because in the first episode we talked about Napolis and Romas and stuff like that, who are competing domestically, but they don't have a European sort of
European pedigree.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have this heritage that the Milan clubs do. And both Milans, AC and Inter, were both in a dark place in the last few seasons.
Yeah, recently, They weren't doing well.
But because of this pedigree, people want them to do well, and they get pushed, and players want to come there. I still don't understand why they go to Inter, but AC Milan, because AC Milan actually have the second.
Yeah, they got 7
overall. They have 7 titles.
They've won 7,
so more than Bayern Munich, more than Barcelona, more than Liverpool.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that Barcelona only got 2 or 3 of those titles recently. So for a very long time, they only had 2 titles or 3 titles. So so Milan, much bigger pedigree, and I think Real Madrid recently they won 4 of those titles. So Milan was only 2 off Real Madrid. That tells you sort of
ridiculously close.
How big Milan is in Europe, and even though they've been garbage for
they have
good
garbage
5, 6, 7 seasons.
For their standards, they have been garbage.
Yeah, since their last title, essentially, I think the next season they came second.
It was pretty much since Juventus knocked them off.
Yeah, and
won their first title
in this little period.
Milan have not been up to standard, up to scratch, but players still want to go there.
And now they're building back up, and they've got a real project going on there, and it looks like they're going to be in Champions League next season. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about European.
Yeah, we're not
heritage.
saying like players don't want to play for Arsenal or Chelsea.
Of course, but this is.
We're saying like if Chelsea and Arsenal were to drop down to mid-table and stay there for a little while,
it'd be harder for them to come back from the dead.
That's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying. And this is what the heritage comes from, and Italy has to take the cake for this one. It has.
Yeah, it does.
Juventus only has 2.
Juventus have 2, but they've been in 9 finals.
Yeah.
So
they've been in. 9 finals.
You look at them and go, we've got a chance here, even though they've lost 7 finals.
Yeah, and also, with Milan next to them, right, being so big in Europe, and Juventus being so dominant in the league. It's a unique situation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Juventus have been dominant in Italy.
In fact, they almost have double
almost double of what Inter and Milan have. And
you put them both together, and they still almost only just pip Juve. So Juve huge, Milan huge. Like I said, I don't know why people go to Inter, but they're still big. You know, they it's in their heads.
They are big, and Inter can go deep. When you think of Inter, they used to regularly go deep in the Champions League, and that's what Milan and Juventus do as well. So
this is where the pull comes from. This is what you sort of want, and it's a great reason to go for a league, because it's a different thing, like, because you can have domestic titles and things like that. You can have
domestic.
You can have your sort of history, but on top of the history of being strong in Europe, they also have the rivalry between these three teams, and it's the only league. What's
the word? A triangle.
Trifecta.
It's a triangle. It's a triangle rivalry between the three clubs.
So whereas Spain has won the most, England has the greatest sort of competition at the top of the league. Italy brings the two together and has this trifecta of domestic and European competition that is unique.
That's unique.
Yeah, to Serie A. Plus, on top of that, you got a few, your Napolis and Romas and stuff like that who are trying to get their head in.
And right now, it doesn't look like it because of the whole scandal after 2006. The league's been rebuilding, but in time, you'll see it reformed to the way it was.
Yeah, because like we said before, Inter Milan and AC Milan coming from really sort of dark places. They haven't even been making the Champions League.
Yeah, for the young folk who may have just started getting into this, Inter and AC are huge. Yeah, they are huge clubs.
And they're coming back now, almost against all logic. Players, should really, if you go by recent form, Roma
and Napoli are the two teams really where players should be going, but
and Juventus obviously,
Juventus of course.
But they're stacked, so
you're not getting. The thing is, players are leaving Rome to go to Milan, and Lazio as well to go to Milan.
Why? We don't know. They're leaving Juventus to go to Milan. Bonucci.
Bonucci,
but he went back.
But that was because of the.
But the fact that it's even in someone's head, and they still want to compete at a high level.
That's the thing. There was no reason to leave Juventus to go to Milan at that point to compete. I mean, to start a project, but like
or a protest. But either way, the jersey and the logo, it's like it came straight out of a lawnmower. But
that was terrible, that jersey.
So Italy is our winner for this one.
Yeah, Italy wins the heritage.
And
Spain, and not Spain, England win the competitiveness. So
so
it's 1-1.
Well, it's 1-1 for that, or 1-1 to those two. And spoiler alert: France and Germany are not going to win anything. Bad luck, Bayern. So in summary, European heritage of the 5 leagues, which we narrow down to 4 because France is not even a thing. Not even a thing. Yeah. And Germany is as competitive as it is. It's not really in contention either.
In terms of heritage, no.
Yeah. No. England's probably number 3. Spain's probably number 2, but Italy merges the two together really well.
It does, yeah.
And it's just, even though it hasn't churned out as many. In fact, Real Madrid on their own have won more European titles than the the Italian league and the English leagues.
World class heritage. Yeah, Real Madrid.
Exactly. But Italy has that sort of the spread.
Yeah, and they've got the extra club. That's the only thing. 3 relevant clubs in Europe.
And that is,
you talk about.
That's a unique thing about Italy. That's why it takes the cake for this one. So that's it on European heritage. The next episode will be on the league that is built.
The league that is built
for European success.
And this is more talking about how things are currently.
Yeah, currently, and that's just the way things are set up, and just go into a bit on the dynamics of each league, how it is, and why they do as well or badly as they currently do. In between, there might be one of my episodes with how to win a football match. The next episode of that, probably I might get that out before the episode 3 of this series, but we'll see how it goes. It just depends on when recording gets done or whatnot. Meanwhile, thanks for watching if you got this far. If you liked the video, always give us a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber and would want more of this stuff, please feel free to click the subscribe button as well, because we always love ourselves some more subscribers.
And comment.
Comment definitely.
I like the comments more,
yeah.
actually.
And whichever league you think is the best, which league do you follow? We also have a Facebook page, a Tumblr page as well. The Tumblr page just has a few blogs, one of them with more serious articles, one of them with the funny satire articles.
Satire, yeah.
Feel free to have a look at those. There's not much there at the moment, but there's still something there, so just feel free to have a look. Links in the description below. And one final time, thank you for watching. See you for the next episode.
See you then.